Sriram, let's communicate about how well you did and what are the things that you could have done a little better. Firstly, I really liked your entry. You took out a prop, a matchstick box, and lit up a matchstick. For once, I thought that there's a cigarette coming out or something. Next thing. Anyhow, you wonderfully inculcated that into your storyline, depicting taking us back to the previous era and starting from the very beginning of communication. That is a really nice way to bring out your topic, because taking up the root cause method, so that the audience is better able to relate with things coming out of it. You were also able to weave a story while describing different methods of communication. That was a commendable thing, because you didn't take up the route of describing them in pointers method. Rather, you picked up the method of story, and putting your points in a story was a great thing. Your voice was really good, loud and clear, and you had very confident body language. Another thing that you did very great was that you inculcated members in your speech in real time. So what that does is, for the audience, it makes your story really more interesting and more engaging, and it looks more authentic and not something that is just solely prepared. You also had a very nice and funny ending, and to give you some pointers about criticism, I feel that there was a lack of personal touch in your story, as your speech purpose was to tell the audience a little bit about your communication styles, or which one do you prefer, or which one you like to engage more with. So if you could have done a little bit of personal story, or maybe picked up one of the communication styles that you explained and told that, yeah, maybe this is my favorite, or a story relating to that particular communication style, that could have been added sparkles to your speech. Also, one thing that I found really missing was that once you elaborated the ancient stories, the ancient communication styles, and you tried to bring it to the modern era or the language era, there was a link which was missing. Maybe something that a little story about how language was formed, the spoken language was formed, because your speech took us from the gesture form of the languages to the spoken word form of the languages. So if that link could have been made a little better, that would have given your speech a better mark. Also, one thing that I think that could have been added was that while explaining your speech, explaining the previous methods, you could have used the stage in a way such that once you are describing the previous era, you are standing over here, and once the era changes, you come back here, and once the methods are being elaborated, the different methods, you could have taken up a particular place on the stage. Like when you spoke about the personal form of communication and every form of communication. Lastly, when you weaved your methods, the communication styles in your story, but also along with that, you have to make sure that while you're explaining them, they are highlighted in some form or the other. So when you are speaking about direct communication, you could have just toned up a little bit, like direct communication, so that leaves a mark that this is something important. So overall, it was a good speech, and we learned a lot. And one thing, as I learned, that we need to stop at the right point. So now I'll be stopping. Thank you.